you have to have a pregame, like a plan of like when you're traveling, right? So you can pack kind of the veggies, you can pack kind of the healthy snacks. But if you don't
Yeah.
have a pregame and you're not as responsible and accountable, Stephanie, maybe you're like, like myself, and you're kind of traveling. I do this little secret black coffee and bone broth, and I put bone broth in like a mug, and I take that, and those are what I have throughout the entire day. Not the easiest, but fasting kind of helps me travel, especially because a little sensitive to the flight. I also try to avoid California, traveling to Texas, Utah, Arizona, now apparently Idaho as well. Why? In and out. In and out is there. That's my personal weakness, right? So I obsessed with In and Out burger. Oh my gosh, I avoid. But in all seriousness, like when I want to eat or if I am hungry at the airport, what I try to do, Stephanie, is if I'm in a rush, I try to go to like a kiosk or one of those Wall Street Journal kiosks or one of those like stores, right? And I try to find a protein source like beef jerky if possible with the minimum amount of sugar, right? The least processed organic. If I can't find
Yeah.
that, I try to get nuts and pistachios to snack on, right?
Mhm.
Or,
Yeah.
I try to get like a kind bar or potentially like a protein bar that has the least amount of issues or at least amount of like unnatural ingredients. So no
Yeah.
asulfamine K. Like a good example would be like Quest. They have stevia. Some people have noticed that with Quest bars though, not to say like they don't taste good, but they have GI like a you know
Irrefutable.
bloatedness and being a little gassy with them. So if that's an issue, maybe trying to get like a more organic bar, right? That has the minimum amount of ingredients. Reading the label, because you mentioned that, right? Reading the label,
Yeah.
super important, right? And the minimum
Yeah.
amount of ingredients is typically the best, right? In your mind?
And if you can't read the label, for example, I mean, if you do end up deferring to a restaurant, maybe you're not familiar with, or you can't access the ingredients online, or maybe it's everything is in another language or something like that. It would be preferable to look at what is actually in the food. Can you kind of identify all of the ingredients? Something that is really easy to eat a lot of, or maybe not be aware of how much of it you're eating, is like salad dressings or sauces. A lot of the times they're really packed with different kinds of oils that might not be so great for you. You could just get a boxed salad and pour in the whole packet, but that's a lot of calories that generally don't add that much necessarily to what you're eating. So
It's kind of like days like when you're working where you like do a lot of emails and you feel productive, but you're not actually productive, right? And it's like you
yeah.
feel healthy because you're eating the salad, right?
Yeah.
You drench it or it comes pre-drenched actually in the dressing, so you feel good about eating it. From a long-term like ingredient standpoint, it's not the healthiest.